step outside of your comfort zone, step outside of your routine, of what you do every day, and try to do something different, something that really helps you and nurture you as a person. It connects that spiritual engagement. And I feel that when you commit to doing a Camino, is because you're looking for answers. Everyone is so disconnected and we're so attached to these devices, and it's a massive problem that we have, not only in this country but in every country in the world. And to be able to be with yourself and have this type of I call it food for the soul, food for the mind, right? And just to take a moment to stop and say, okay, let me just connect. I think that's a key word, connect. So when you go in a group, you could go long distances, and those people, doesn't even realize how long they have walked because they're engaged with the group, right? So you feel motivated, you feel happy, you feel contented.
Hello, parents. Welcome to the Way to Your Why podcast. Today we have with us Andrés. Andrés is a psychologist from FYU, and he's going to be talking today with us. He also is running a company that is called RTP Outside. Is that correct, Andrés?
Step Outside
Step
RTP.
Outside, RTP, Step Outside. And we are going to be talking with him about how the activities that he's doing with his company are connecting with the Camino de Santiago, because he in North Carolina is very related to nature. That actually the Camino is very like a nature scenes that you're going to be looking all around. So we're going to be talking, and then a step outside of that, he also would like to walk the Camino at some point because he hasn't done that yet. So welcome, Andres. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much. I feel honored to be here. It's a great opportunity to talk to you and to share ideas and experiences regarding this passion that we have of, doing these type of activities, outdoor activities, and activities that help us connect with ourselves.
Perfect. And then so I believe that I talked to you the other day, you were mentioning that you start with that activity of step outside and the RTP, just thinking how to connect people with that natures that we have in North Carolina. And can you tell us a little bit about that experience and how people have enjoyed those activities that you have planned to?
Yeah, of course. So basically, this happened just after the pandemic, when we were all sheltered in our homes for so long. And I noticed that it became actually really hard for people to engage with each other, to connect with each other, to have that sense of connection among themselves. So I thought of, this idea of what can we do to help people come out of that isolation, right?
Okay.
Because it's not only physical isolation, but it's also mental isolation, right? Like you could be in a room with 100 people, but feel completely disconnected from everyone else. So that's when this idea of step outside, step outside of your comfort zone, step outside of your routine, of what you do every day, and try to do something different, something that really helps you and nurture you as a person. So that's basically how this idea came out. And of course, the best scenario that we have to do this is nature, right? Anytime we go outside to a park, or we see the mountains, or we see the beach, or whatever scenery you have in front of you, it's like really a positive impact in your system, in your brain, in your thoughts, in everything that you think and feel. So I thought of connecting this to this idea. Okay, let's do activities that help people feel or engage in that experience of, connecting with themselves through nature.
Okay, and being a psychologist, how you have seen those impact on people that have going with you on those trips? What have you noticed on them when they are enjoying those
Yeah,
activities?
so mainly, every time we do an activity, the feedback that I get from everyone is how they were able to disconnect from the stress, the tensions, all the thought processes. Like we are constantly like, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that. I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. And it's like for a day, of course, most of our activities here are just for one day, right? But at least on that one day, they're able to disconnect from that so they can connect with something much deeper, right? So from the psychological point of view, it's really like a therapy, without going to an actual therapist, but just engaging in that activity of connecting with nature, of just doing something different to what you do on your day-to-day lives, really helps them um, achieve that in a natural way, in a way that you're not, you know, taking a pill or taking some medication or anything like that. So it's very powerful. It's very powerful.
If I do not recall incorrectly, you mentioned that between the time that you start working on this activity, you have been probably bring around 600 people with you traveling, right?
Yes. So we started our first activity was only like 20 people, and slowly it's like, everyone started talking about it. And yeah, people are looking for this type of activities. It's just that they're really, sometimes they're afraid of doing something different, or going to a place that they didn't know before. So we bridge that gap where we say, hey, we're going to take care of you. We're going to help you organize everything. Just come and enjoy. Right. So yeah, now it's been probably like 600-700 people here in the city of Raleigh that have traveled with us locally.
That is amazing. And then I'm talking a little more about the Camino de Santiago.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell us why you would like to walk the Camino?
Yeah, so I feel that El Camino, it's something that, I mean, my perspective, of course, I haven't done it, but it's something that works on a much deeper level, right? Because it connects that spiritual engagement. And I feel that when you commit to doing El Camino, it's because you're looking for answers. You're looking for something that is missing in your life, right? And of course, I'm looking for that. Everyone is looking for those answers, but it's more of a pilgrimage. It's more of I mean, it has a much deeper level than just tourism, right? I can do tourism anywhere. But El Camino, for what I have heard from so many people and from what you have shared, it's something that really helps you find those answers in that process of walking and walking and walking every day for how many days you do it. So I mean, who wouldn't want that, right? That's a lifetime experience, I would say, right?
Yeah. So I have a definition from someone that I interviewed in prior episodes where the person that I interviewed say that the nice about the Camino is that when you're going out of any vacation, you are in a vacation, but if you're in the beach, the vacation are going to be all related to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
But in the Camino de Santiago, that vacation is different every single day. So it's like every new day you start and you do not know what is going to happen. And and it's like there are also people that say the Camino will provide. And in that aspect, this same person comment that she said that was one day that she wasn't able to bring fruit with her on her backpack, and she said that on the Camino she found like a different type of fruits, and so she was able to pick those on the floor.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, no, I can only imagine the type of experiences that each person would have doing El Camino, and how transformative and how, like you said, every experience is so unique and so tailored to your own life, right? So if I'm sure if I ask two people about their experiences, even though they went on the same time, they're gonna share something different, and that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah, and then again talking about that, you're being a psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see that an activity like the Camino de Santiago would benefit a person?
Well, like I said, especially in the time that we're living, where everything seems so chaotic and so, everyone is so disconnected and we're so attached to these devices, and it's a massive problem that we have not only in this country but in every country in the world. I think right now everyone is looking for that answer. Everyone is looking for meaning in their life. Everyone is looking for a purpose. So that in itself can change your life, right? The quality of your life, the quality of your thoughts, the quality of your emotions, the quality of your even your physical body could be transformed just by finding those answers, or at least engaging yourself in that process, right? So places like these are holy, they're special. They really were designed by whoever, in the past, for us to have those types of experiences where we can find those answers. So, I mean, the least I could say is it's very transformative. It's necessary. It's not a, I wouldn't say it's a luxury. It's a necessity that, everyone has, that at least that's the way I feel it.
Yes. Now that you mentioned about the cell phone, you show the cell phone. Uh,
Mhm,
but that I just came from the Camino,
mhm,
and when I was walking the Camino, the power in Spain went out in the
mhm.
whole country, and you cannot imagine how we enjoy walking the Camino.
Mhm,
Because for walking the Camino, you don't need power. You just need yourself.
mhm,
Keep walking and enjoy everything. We even went to take a back into the beach, even with clothes, and
mhm.
we all enjoy. We were a group of 8 people,
Wow.
and everybody was super excited about having that moment. Then we went to restaurants, and even the restaurant were working. The credit cards were not working, but they were taking payment in cash
Yeah.
without no problem. They even accept US dollars that
Mhm,
they are not supposed to because they are euros, but
mhm,
they accept the US dollars. And you can have any kind of food
mhm.
that was able over that they were able to heat, or they were able to even the beers were really cold. So that was a super nice experience. And I remember there was a gentleman that he was playing with his son basketball, and we were asking some question and about the power, and he said, well, I'm so happy right now that this happened, because now we know what the life is about it, and
Mhm.
we are no more connected to the internet or nothing, at least for a moment.
Yep.
We can enjoy more natural moments with our family.
Yeah. In fact, it's what a blessing to experience that during this tower outage. And here we have an activity that we do once in a while, but I call it disconnect to connect, right? And in reality, to be able to connect to something more meaningful, you have to disconnect from all this noise, right? And again, that I would say it's the main purpose of doing El Camino, is that you completely detach yourself from all that noise from the world, and you start listening to yourself, right? Especially, I'm sure if you do it by yourself, where that inner thought process starts, like you start listening to yourself and you start like really having that inner conversation, right? But what a blessing is to experience that by being forced to not having all these gadgets and all these distractions. That was, I'm sure it was really something to
Yeah,
experience.
yeah. But the nice part is that everybody was so happy. It's
Hmm.
not just us.
Yeah.
Everybody that was aside, of course, everybody was asking, "Oh, what may happen or what may not happen," but they were all keep on their purpose
Mm-hmm.
and just enjoy the moment. And even when we went arrived to our next hotel, the service was great, no worries. So you're
Right.
gonna have here, we provide this for you. That way you can go with the candle upstairs and all that. And they talk about the next day, the breakfast is gonna be as always, no worries about
Mhm.
that.
Right.
So they were very prepared for something that happened just suddenly.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. It has never happened before like that. So
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah.
So, and then once you decide that you're gonna be walking that Camino, and is anything special that you are looking for Gary at the moment?
Um. Yeah. I mean, I connected a lot with every outing excuse me, that we do here in North Carolina. We have beautiful mountains, we have beautiful sceneries, and I feel that all of that is a preparation, right? Prepare for the big one. I would call it Camino like the big one, and my dream is to actually do it completely, from beginning to end, even if it takes months or whatever time. But that's what I'm looking for, to be able to have that experience, to be prepared for it, to be not only mentally but also physically, because I'm sure, doing it completely requires some preparation. But yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a life-changing experience, like a before and after type of experience. But again, like, even for people who cannot travel for whatever reason, I feel that, these types of activities, even if you do it in your backyard, in your local park, or if you have mountains nearby, or some, you can utilize any opportunity to connect, right? And to be able to be with yourself and have this type of I call it food for the soul, food for the mind, right?
Okay.
More.
For those people that have traveled with you here in North Carolina,
Mhm.
do you have any memory or anything that you can recall that they have mentioned to you? Oh, I did this experience and it has been so great for me. So, anything that you can comment here?
Yeah, in fact, in one of our trips to the Blue Ridge Mountains, which is about 3 hours from here, um, we actually went to the top of one of the mountains, and we did a little activity where they had to draw, right, with paints, and we have like some pencils and brushes and all of that. And that was a surprise. I didn't know that we were going to do that, right? But for them, after doing the activity, one of the things that I would never forget is, you said, Andres, for the first time in years, I felt like a child again. I reconnected with my inner child. And that was really powerful because, again, our modern lives push you to be in a certain way, to act in a certain way, to always be on the run, moving, doing things. And just to take a moment to stop and say, okay, let me just connect. I think that's a key word, connect. Um, it was very, very meaningful for them. They will never forget that experience. So little things like that, it's little details, it doesn't need to be something majestic or anything. And I'm sure in El Camino, every stop that you do, every interaction that you have, um, I'm sure it has some meaning for you, in one way or another.
Yeah. And do you see any difference between when walking as a group and walking as a solo?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, people try to say, oh, one is better than the other, or, this is better, this is not good. In my opinion, they're just different, and they're both good. They both have their advantages. When we go in a group, we feel, well, at least what I have seen is that you feel more motivated to keep going, right? Because not everyone is used to walk, right? That's something that not everyone has that passion to do it. So when you go in a group, you could go long distances, and those people, they doesn't even realize how long they have walked because they're engaged with the group, right? So you feel motivated, you feel happy, you feel content, and it's like you recharge yourself from the group itself, right? When you do it by yourself, it's a different experience. It's more of internalizing your own experience. It's almost like a meditation, right? Where you're you with yourself. That's it. And in that sense, you have to be more prepared as well, because if you're not used to doing this type of activities, you may walk 20 minutes and then you're like, okay, I'm bored, or I don't know what to do, or I'm tired, what should I do? So I feel if you're starting these type of activities, it's better to start with a group, and as you go, then you can start doing this by yourself as well. But both have their beautiful sides to it, so I would recommend both.
Yeah, that's great. It's great to know. And then another question that I have is talking about the corporate environment.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that when working in a corporation, you are subject to a lot of stress
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of pressure that you have on you, on your shoulders. And if you are a supervisor or a manager, you also have your team on you that you have that weight as well.
Mm-hmm.
So an activity like the Camino de Santiago or hiking here in North Carolina, uh, why would you recommend to those people that are under those circumstances to do an activity like the Camino or working outside in nature?
That's a very appropriate question, especially for the time that we're living in. What I feel is that everyone is under a lot of pressure nowadays. Everyone, even if you're not working, those who are working are under a lot of pressure. Those who are not really, working in that type of environment, they also feel it. But regardless of that, it's your life that is in your hands, and if you don't take the time to give yourself the time to explore something different, to do something different, to do something that is going to take you away from that mechanical type of environment where you're constantly doing things right, without stopping. Pretty much, I know people that they work Saturdays, they work Sundays, and it's nonstop. And even if they're home, they're constantly thinking about their jobs and what they have to do and what's coming next and the next project and the next deadline for something. And it's killing people. It's literally killing people. I mean, as a psychologist, I see it. The effects of stress in the long run, it's horrific. Um, so I mean, it's in your hands to make sure that you don't get to a point where there's no return, right? And activities like these and experiences like these, it's really what's going to help you with that. It's not just saying, okay, I'm going to take a day off from work and that's it. You really need to invest in yourself. So I see El Camino as an investment and a gift to yourself. Nothing more than that. And what better way to to acknowledge your own life and respect your own life than giving yourself something like this.
Yes, because we are talking about quality of life.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
And the
and
quality of life right now, it's very poor. In every country, it's not only here. Every country it experiences that.
yes, and we felt a little bit about that scary when happened the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
that everybody around the world was scared.
Mm-hmm.
But then after everything got to normal back again, so then you see how people have thinking, let's start with this activity, thinking myself, let's take a vacation of this or that, and
Mm-hmm.
away. But now we probably, I believe that we lived the pandemic probably around 3 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Yeah.
And even with that, so now it's getting everything I supposed to be before the pandemic. So people are starting to get stressed as well, as of right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I believe that it's really important that people consider activities like this one for them just to think in something else. And that also improves then when they come back,
Mm-hmm.
they are in another shape. They may have ideas that they didn't have before because they were able to think. And when you are thinking in an environment like the Camino or outside in nature, you are able to see other perspectives that may be a lot easier than you think when you were just working.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I see when we do our trips here, when people come back, sure, they sometimes they come really tired physically, but they say we come tired physically, but mentally we're recharged. And they experience their job in a different way. Their connection with their family improves. Their energy, everything is just different, just because of one day of doing something different, of investing in themselves, right? Now imagine doing El Camino in a more structured way, where you're planning for this and you spend whatever time you're going to spend there. That's what I'm saying. Keep saying, it's a life changing experience. It's nothing less than that.
Okay, that's right. What would you recommend for someone that would like to do this kind of, to live this kind of experience? What would you recommend to that person?
Well, the first step is to trust yourself, right? Sometimes we're very hesitant to do something different, something that it's outside of our comfort zone, but trust yourself that this is good for you. You're investing in yourself. Don't see it as an expense. Don't see it as uh, you can put 100 obstacles, but at the same time, they could be, you can remove all of them if you know that this is something that is an investment on yourself. So there's no risk on that. And after that, yeah, I would say just give yourself the chance to do it. It's just good for you. That could there's nothing bad that could come out of it, right? But I think a lot of people are always hesitating. Yeah, I like that idea. It sounds good, but I don't know. Maybe next year, maybe next year, maybe next year. And time is limited. The time that we have in this, and you don't know how next year your health is gonna be. You don't know how next year your life situation is gonna be. So if you have the opportunity, do it when you can. As soon as possible. I would say, because again, you never know how things will be in the future, right?
Yes, I was about to ask you that question, and you responded before I asked. That's pretty good. And yes, this is totally true what you are just mentioning. That you need to live on the present, not in the future, because you cannot know what is going to happen in the future. That's impossible to know.
Yeah,
But you can take action on the present.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And another thing that I notice a lot with my trips is that people are very hesitant to go by themselves. Oh, I want to go, but I don't have anyone to go with. Oh, I want to go, but my partner cannot make it. Oh, I really want to do it, but I'm waiting for my friend to see if he can make it also as well. And my humble recommendation to everyone is do it by yourself. Don't wait for anyone. It's fine. It's you're gonna be fine. There's nothing wrong in doing things by yourself. And I'm sure with your with the level of planning that you guys have, everyone is gonna be safe, or everyone is gonna be taken care of. But there's always that fear of doing things by yourself. I don't know why we're wired that way. um, do things on your own. It's completely fine. It's completely fine whether you're a man or a woman, young, old, doesn't matter. Just give yourself that opportunity.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And actually, the Camino is one of those trips that you can do by your own with absolutely no problem. And then there are some times when people ask me if they can get lost. Yes, that may happen, but it's very, very, very difficult that happen, because nowadays the Camino is very well signed. So
Right.
that means that every time that you're gonna see a turn, and where there is a turn, you're gonna see an arrow
Right.
pointing the direction that you need to go to. If you get lost, it's because you were not paying attention,
Yeah. Yeah.
but because you were talking with somebody. And then that's also a nice part about the Camino, that you're gonna be talking with so many people
Mhm.
about different cultures, different countries, that you're gonna enjoy that time a lot. And plus
Right.
the food, uh, everything that you can eat through Galicia. Actually, in the Galicia side,
Mhm.
is one of the best places to eat in Spain.
I
So.
can imagine. Yeah. See, now you're making me hungry. No, that's
So,
all.
Andres, we're almost getting to the end of the conversation. Any final thoughts that you would like to share with us?
Um, yeah, I mean, I would reiterate that point of, don't hesitate, give yourself prioritize yourself, and life will continue, whether you're there or not. Life will continue. So this is the time for you to prioritize yourself, to give yourself these type of experiences. It's not for tomorrow, it's not for the future, it's for the now. I know so many people in my trips that they are elder elderly, and they say, I wish I would have done this before, because now my knees are not that good, because I have a lot of back pain because of. So don't wait till you cannot make it anymore. in this country we have this idea that, oh yeah, I'll start traveling when I retire, and no, the time to travel and do this is not when you retire, is for now. I cannot emphasize that enough. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm so grateful that I met you, and I think what you're doing, it's really um, important, and it's very powerful. Again, in the times that we're living in, to be able to offer these kind of services are extremely necessary in our society. So I'm grateful for El Camino, and for what you're doing, Camino Wonders. It's really great, and I encourage everyone to take the opportunity.
Yeah, well, thank you for saying that, Andres. And also for people that would like to talk to us about the Camino. So we are always welcome people to talk about it. Actually, we have some classes in the area that
Mhm.
are locally here in the Raleigh area. We have been in REI. We have been also, we're going to be soon in a church. We're going to be having two workshops with people. And we're going to have two sessions, one in English and another in Spanish. And we're looking to have other sessions, and then we can have one-on-ones, and those are totally free. So no problem to hesitate to contact us. We are always welcome to talk with any of you. Will respond any question. I have walked 3 Caminos now, so I have 3 Compostelas,
Mhm.
and we are connected with people that have ton of experience. I work also with someone that have walked 31 Caminos.
Wow.
So with us, you can feel totally trust when we're going to be providing. It's going to be very accurate information. And if I do not know the answer, because I do not know everything, we're going to be talking with someone that knows that answer, and that get back to you with the answer that you are looking for.
Excellent. Excellent.
So, Andres, well, thank you very much for sharing with us this podcast today. And I'm looking forward to talk to you in the future and to know about the activities that you keep planning here in North Carolina. And I see when we can just be together to talk about, and then with your group as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Okay. So thank you very much, and buen camino.
Buen camino. Bye bye.